Hey dorks, just a quick message reminding you to head over to twitch.tv/mindgappodcast and give us a follow. We live stream when we record our new podcast episodes, and we're live streaming video game sessions on Saturday nights at 8 o'clock p.m. Central Time. We're playing super rad stuff like Among Us, Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes, Jackbox games, and Tabletop Simulator. Come hang out and play along with us. That's twitch.tv/mindgappodcast.
Mind Gap Podcast.
Hey everybody, welcome to Mind Gap Podcast. I'm Doug.
I'm Justin.
And we're so happy that you're here because it's been a whole week that smells horrendous.
Jesus Christ.
Good Lord. What was
We
that?
We can't have one nice intro, Doug.
Well, it's the fizzy water talking, and I made smoked chicken tonight. Smoked chicken tacos, and it tasted kind of gross, but now that I think about it, it has a nice finish. A little smoky, sweet, just the way God intended.
Tell me more about how it. So here's the thing. A lot of people will talk about like a fine wine, the nose, how it hits first, how it then mellows on the palate, and what the finish is like. Doug is a sommelier, right?
Somalian?
With burps. He's a Somalian burp. So Doug, go ahead and give us the full bouquet of what you just experienced.
So it started out very hot. There was a warmth to it, both physically and within the palate. It was very warm, and it came out, and the smell is the first thing that hits you, and you're like, wow, what is that? I don't know what that is. And you're immediately, it's like, when you have Lou Malnati's deep dish, Chicago deep dish pizza, and you smell it when it comes out, like, this is awesome. But when you put it in the fridge, and then later on, you open it up and you're like, oh my God, that doesn't smell good. It's been in the fridge. And for some reason, you're like, woof. That's kind of what it was. It's like, It's food that comes up.
It's disarming.
It's disarming. First. You're like, God. But then you start thinking about it. I'm like, what was that? And then I'm like, oh, right. It was my smoked chicken. And I was like, whoa, I get that. I'm starting to get a little bit of those barbecue spices and stuff like that. And, it was.
So it moves from disarming into intriguing.
Yes. To wait
and
to
almost alluring, if you will.
It makes you think. It's a thinker.
Oh, it's very retrospective.
It's a stinker followed by a thinker.
There you go. That's what they call the Harvard twosome.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
Yep. You can Wikipedia that. Look up the Harvard twosome.
Also closely related to the two-pipe classic.
That's right.
Double pipe classic. I'm sorry. Which we all know is like finding a unicorn. Rare.
It's rare, but man, when you find it, you get
when
an
you
award.
witness it, when you witness the burping and farting at the same time, magical.
Right. Now here's the thing: if you add a sneeze in at the same time, you die. So you don't no one's ever witnessed it because anyone who's done it has just immediately ceased to exist.
I love how that was just such a thing that we believed when we were kids.
Oh yeah.
So it goes, dude, if you sneeze, fart, and burp at the same time, you're dead. It's a Control-Alt-Delete of your body.
it's an Alt F4. Your body will quit itself.
Right.
Your spirit quits. Yeah.
Like, It's just like as if your body couldn't handle that. Your body, people survive cancer, but it can't survive a fart, a sneeze, and a burp at the same time. It's like,
Right.
People come back from drowning with CPR, but it can't handle a fart, a sneeze, and a burp at the same time.
Right, exactly.
Said he goes, poof, body gone.
Yep, that's it. It's
just poof.
Everyone looks around and they're like, where did so-and-so go? That's crazy.
It's like
they
a
were
jump
just
cut
standing right
in
here.
a video. It's just jump cut and you're just, poof, you're gone.
Right. What a lot of people don't know is that the memory of you also gets erased. So that's why no one ever talks about the snart, because it just, no one remembers it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was going to say something.
Yeah.
I'm going back here in the, Zenny said, try eating pickle slices and cherry turnover together. I don't know about that, but I did just hear today And I don't know if have you ever heard of this? That a South Side Chicago thing is peppermint and pickle. Have you ever heard of this?
No. And
So
I'm just
there's
imagining what that would taste like, because the peppermint is very strong.
Right.
And whenever you eat anything after peppermint, the peppermint invites itself. It's a polite way of saying to the party.
Right. Exactly. Yes.
Yeah,
the peppermint doesn't care that it was told to go home.
No, it's hanging around. It's the friend that won't leave after a party. It's like, hey man, I'm gonna go to bed. It's like, that's cool. I'm just gonna watch a couple more movies. And you're like, but I gotta get up early for work. That's cool. I'll see myself out.
That's fine. I'll keep the volume low. Is anything in the fridge fair game? Can I just? Yeah.
Right? Is it cool
Can
if I shower here before I go to work? Because I'm
Can
just
I
gonna go
grab
to
a
work from
pickle?
here.
Yeah.
Can I grab a pickle?
Well, there's Annabella Vall, who's she was, at least, I don't know if she still is. She was one of the field correspondents for WGN News, and she posted something on Instagram where apparently it's a South Side tradition, but you bite the top off of a pickle, like one of those whole dill pickles, like that you've got.
I was like, I got him.
Gigantic jar of. And you take a peppermint stick and you shove it down the center, and then you eat that together. And she was very like, I don't know about this. And they were like, no, try it. And she tried it. And she was like, oh my God, this absolutely
Is this something
works.
I have to do on the next podcast?
I don't want to say yes, but I'm going to say
I've got a jar of pickles, everybody. I do.
We
A
just need to
giant
get
one
you
from
a peppermint
Costco.
stick.
It's got to get a peppermint stick, and then don't
And
tell
she
Jill.
She said, does she like peppermint sticks?
No, she would be horrified. I showed her the clip of me doing the watermelon and mustard with no context. I go, here, watch this. And she goes, wait, no, why? No. She's like, why would you do that? I was like, I don't know. And she's like, let me guess. She goes, let me guess. You found out that the yellow mustard was expired and you put it back in the fridge. I was like, I was live on a podcast. Of course I did. I didn't want to, but I had time to wash it out and throw it in recycling. She goes, I knew you did. I knew you'd do it. I knew you put it back in. I'm like, I'm going to go throw it away. You don't even use mustard. What are you talking about? Jill is like a shark when it comes to mustard. You put like 1/8 of a teaspoon of mustard in something, she'd be like, is there mustard in this? Like, she can instantly pick it out.
That's interesting. I feel like I remember you guys saying that.
Yeah, she doesn't fuck around when it comes to that.
So I tried that. I went and bought a watermelon the other day, and I was like, and I was cutting it up. I'm like, wait a second. I have yellow mustard that's not bad. So let me go ahead and pull this out and try it. And it's exactly as you described it. It's watermelon and mustard.
And I also want to shout out.
Bad, but
yeah,
I wouldn't do it. Like,
the thing is, like,
it's not a snack I would go for.
No, but I get it. I get it because it should be awful, and it's not.
Yeah.
And I think that's what the allure is of it. It's like, wait, who would think to put yellow mustard on something as delightful as a watermelon, a piece of watermelon? Right. But when you eat it, you're like, it's not bad. And actually combines relatively interestingly in your mouth, but it's not like, oh boy, get me this giant bowl of watermelon and slather some yellow mustard on it. Which, side note, shout out to Mr. E for Married with Gaming for sending me 4 bottles of mustard because mine had gone bad. So thank you.
Our community
fucking best
knows no limit to their generosity. And Jill, I mean that very, very much from the bottom of my heart.
Jill tonight literally opened up the pantry and goes, oh my God, we have mustard coming out of our asses.
Well, and it was a variety pack too, man. Like, you got honey mustard in there. You got yellow mustard.
Got Dijon.
I think we got Dijon. And then what was the other one?
I don't remember. There a 4th one? There was a 4th one. There was a pack of 3 and a single one. And Noah says, now in 2 years, you'll have 4 bad bottles of mustard.
Exactly.
There's no way I'm going to get through that much. Like, have you ever known anyone that would just tear through bottles of mustard?
I mean, I buy a single bottle of mustard and I use it within the allotted time of the mustard.
For a while there, I was having a lot of toast in the morning and I would put Dijon mustard on it. And it was really good. Or I would put
Dijon mustard on your toast in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. Okay.
And I would put sometimes my hard-boiled eggs on top of that to give it a little bit of
hi-ya. I get that.
Because I got that from the recipe you gave me for the egg salad.
Yeah.
Which involved. So I was like, oh, well, instead of making that whole thing, I'll just do a little bit of hard-boiled eggs, on some whole wheat toast with a little bit of mustard. I was like, add a little bit of pop to it, and it was delightful. So I went through. I was doing that pretty regularly, so I was kind of tearing through it for a while, but then I stopped. Yeah. And now I have 4 bottles of mustard.
The times when I use mustard, I really don't use a lot of mustard outside of I'll do if I eat a turkey burger or a regular burger or something, I'll do on the bun I'll do a dollop of mayo, dollop of ketchup, dollop of mustard, and I'll kind of do a little sauce mixture. But that's really the only time I use unless it's called for in a recipe, like for that egg salad thing. I don't use a ton of mustard, but that's why I buy the bottle of mustard that's about yay big, like I don't know what that is, an 8-ounce, 12-ounce bottle of mustard. It's not huge. It's
an
not
average dick size is what you're saying.
Right, exactly. A Swedish dick size of mustard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where I definitely, if it's an option to put like on hot dog or a brat or a burger, I'm like, absolutely. But it's also one of those condiments that I don't put a ton of it on because it has a very strong taste to it.
Yeah.
But I don't mind it being there. Also not a fan of it being there by itself. Like for me, a hot dog involves ketchup and mustard. Some people are like, that's blasphemy. I understand that. Like only mustard. It's like, cool. Let's change topics now that we're going to go that route. Thank you, Justin. You
I'm
piece
just
of
saying,
shit.
I brought you a little little mustard.
No.
Some chopped onion. You're good to go.
Gross.
Oh, what are you talking about? Gross. What do you mean?
God.
Do you not like onions?
Stuff is stupid. Stuff is dumb. Doug hates onions.
Stuff is stupid. Stuff is dumb. Doug hates stuff.
Onions.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Fuck onions. Fuck them twice.
Well, there you go.
Love me some garlic, though. I know it's in the onion family. And that's cool. Work with that.
What is the onion family?
Leeks, shallots, scallions.
Like if you were to say like it's part of the onion, like what is that?
It grows in the ground and it comes up like with little like cool mohawk.
Slotty's got it. I knew he would.
Yeah. All alliums are fantastic.
Alliums. There you go.
Hello, you beautiful fucknut married with gaming. I was just giving you props for sending me all those bottles of mustard. So thanks again,
all the
pal.
mustards.
We appreciate it. We're just really breaking down mustard, and Justin had to
married with gaming.
By talking
mustard.
By talking about aluminiums, and I don't want to talk about those. So we're moving on. Let's do some housekeeping.
Housekeeping.
Dude, that's got to be there's a soundbite. Time for some housekeeping. Oh God, who is that guy? I don't know. He's kind of out of breath. He's also excited to be knocking on the door. Very throaty timbre. I don't know if I like that guy.
His name is Kron.
Who is he? Is he like a cousin of Korg from the Marvel universe?
Sure, absolutely he is. Yeah,
absolutely.
He's made of wood. He's a distant cousin of Korg. Korg does not like to talk about him, but Kron is there.
Yeah, Kron.
Yeah.
All right, housekeeping. Here we go. First things first, y'all. Follow us on Spotify if you don't already. You can if you're looking to listen to stuff on Spotify, we're there. Noted. You know it. It's true. It's on the test. Get it right, or you're out. That's it. That's how it goes. Your average will go down. It'll go on your permanent record, and you won't get into the heaven. Next up, check out our Discord server. This is a wonderful place where we share all sorts of cool things, fun memes. We set up game nights. We share recipes. We're a bunch of fucking nerds, and it's the best community in the world. What community do you know of will make a joke about mustard, and then your community will actually send you mustard? What community do you know of where you say you hate a particular movie, and they buy it for you on iTunes? That's the kind of community we are. We love each other, and it's so much fun. So come hang out with us. If you want to check out, if you want to join it, just head over to twitch.tv/mindgappodcast. Scroll down to the About section. You're going to see a little tab that says Discord. Click on that. Take you right on over. Join us. Welcome. Join the family. Also, don't forget to check us out on Redbubble for that sweet Mind Gap merch. Get you something nice. You've had a tough week. I can tell. You can tell you've had one, and you're working hard. What better way to celebrate that than to get something nice for yourself? Why not get a new hat? Why not get a new shirt? Why not get a new tote bag or a travel coffee mug or anything?
Or be like the Mind Gap community and buy it for someone else.
Exactly.
Just
Pass it
randomly
along.
gift it to someone and be like, hey, you deserve this.
You deserve this. Check this out. Mind Gap Podcast. They're really cool. You'll love them. Also, Doug hates stuff, and Justin is not happy. You can say all these cool lingos that people are like, what? It's like, fucking listen, and you'll get it. All right? And don't forget, if you have a question, ask Practical Doug. All right? Cool. Out. And leave. And they'll be like, wow, I guess I got something magical. It's like, yeah, you're welcome. So redbubble.com, search for Mind Gap Podcast, get yourself something nice. And also, if you don't know already, we do a live stream, video game live stream every Saturday at 8 p.m. Central. So come hang out with us. This Saturday, I don't know, man, Justin, I'm kind of feeling Spyfall.
You're feeling
Saturday.
Spyfall?
I think I'm feeling Spyfall this Saturday. I want to boot it up. I want to get some people together, and I want to be like, yo, let's kind of play this game, and also let's not. Let's role play this shit, because that's what we did last time, and it was a goddamn delight. So,
Yeah.
Spyfall is one of my favorite board games. It's a game of deception and
Fun
deduction.
fucking game, man.
And we had an absolute blast last time. We were pretending to fix HVACs, and things went awry. It was wonderful. It's probably one of my favorite things ever. So every Saturday, 8 p.m. Central at twitch.tv/mindgappodcast. Come hang out with us. Head over to twitch.tv/mindgappodcast and hit the follow button to make sure the notification's on so you know whenever we go live. It'll make you happy. It'll make us happy. Speaking of making us happy, I want to take a minute here. Come in close. Come in close, guys. Huddle up, all right? We're on the goal line here, and we need you to punch it in. And by punching it in, we need you to go wherever you're listening to this right now and rate and review Mind Gap Podcast.
So true. So
Rate
true.
and review it. Just take yourselves 2 minutes to do that, because that shit goes so far. And we would love it so much if you would just rate and review it wherever you're listening. Just take the time to do it. I get it. I've heard this stuff before in other podcasts, and people are like, can you do it? And I was like, you know what? I will. You know what? It was so quick and so easy, and I felt good because I also want to support and rate and review the podcast that I like, because it means a lot. It means a lot to us. It means the world to us. We'd greatly, greatly appreciate it. If you like something that we do, share it. Share it in your social medias. Share it out there. Spread the love. Spread the gospel of Mind Gap. Evangelize the Mind Gap vision, mission, and values, which is what, Justin?
Mustard, mustard, and mustard.
There it is. You heard it. Vision, mission, values, mustard, mustard, mustard. It sounds like something you'd yell before you charge the enemy trenches in World War I.
Right. But it's not. It's our
not.
mission and it's our values.
Yes, in our
Mustard,
vision.
mustard, mustard.
Mustard,
And our
mustard,
vision.
mustard.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Next up, I've been talking a lot. I'm going to keep talking. I
was going to say, what else we got, man?
I want to apologize. I want to apologize because Justin and I take great pride in never missing a week of Mind Gap Podcast. And last week, we fell short. We fell short. We did not meet your expectations. And I want to explain to you what happened. Two things. This is all my fault. All right? It's on me. There's nothing to do with Justin. All me. All right?
Thank God, because I didn't know which way this was going to go. I didn't know if you were going to bring up the thing about, the thing. I'm glad you didn't, but yeah.
Unless you piss me off, I'll keep that thing in my pocket and I'll take it with me to the grave. All right?
All right. I appreciate
But you're on thin ice, buddy. You're on thin ice.
Noted.
Watch it.
Noted.
Watch it. So last week. Okay, you're forgetting.
It's the ice creaking.
No, that's not. That's the ice getting stronger. That's what that is.
That's the sound of ice thickening. It's the thickening of the ice.
If that's not a clip, I don't know what is. That was amazing. So last week, I don't even know. Time is a mystery to me at this point. On a weekend, my internet was kind of being spotty. It would go out for like 30 minutes at a time. And I kept resetting my router, my cable box, all that sort of shit. Wasn't getting better. Had to schedule a technician to come out and take a look at it. This amazing guy from Xfinity, his name's Evan. Evan, if you're listening, if you're out there, man, thank you so much. You are a delight.
You're one of the good ones, Evan.
And I appreciate you. He was so cool. He's a nerd like me. As he's sitting there, like, going through checking cables, he was like, we were just sort of like nerds find each other in these social situations. Because he saw I have this Ethernet cable running from my cable box up to here, and I hate it. My wife hates it, but hey, that's how I get my upload speeds. He's like, why are you doing this? I'm like, oh, I stream and podcast. He goes, oh, cool. He's like, if you don't mind my asking, like, what do you do? And I was like, oh, it's, nerd, pop culture, stuff like that. He goes, oh, okay. He starts like asking like little questions here and there. Before you know it, he's like, we're having this amazing discussion about all sorts of nerdy stuff, and it was so much fun. At the same time, he loved his job. He loved trying to figure out what's going on and trying to fix it. And he was like more than happy to show me like, hey, check this out and this and that and everything. And it went really well. And at the end of it, he goes, I think you're better. He's like, but you might need a new modem. I was like, all right, cool. Later that night, same shit happened. The internet went out. And I was like, fuck, I gotta get a new modem. So I go to get a new modem. He came by on Monday at 5 o'clock at night, because that was the earliest I could get him in. Tuesday morning, I go out and get a new modem. All right, I install the modem. It's easy. But then I have to activate the modem through Comcast. And there's no place to do it online. All it does is keep reading my old modem. So I have to do what I don't want to do, which is I have to call. I have to call them, and I have to navigate their labyrinth, which I didn't think would be difficult. But it's like, I'm having internet issues. It's like, oh, cool. Did you, it's an automated voice being like, did you refresh your router? And I was like, no. It's like, you should. I'm like, no. It's like, are you sure you don't want to? Because it will really help your technician. I go, no. It's like, main menu. I'm like, you motherfucker. You won't let me continue because I said I wouldn't refresh my router? And so I had to like find this weird back entry, and I got some woman who just really didn't seem to know what was going on. Yeah. I was like, listen, I have a new modem.
Was it Denise?
It was not Denise.
Oh, thank God.
Because Denise, I've heard stories. But I was like, I have a new modem. It's installed. It's not showing up on my portal as like existing. I need to activate it. And it was like this is like the worst customer service experience of just, it was just silence for long periods of time. No hold music, nothing. Just like I tell her that, and then I hear like light typing from time to time and whatever. And then I don't have a record of you buying a modem. I'm like, no. I didn't buy it from you. I'm not leasing it. I bought my own. Okay. Silence continues. I'm like, oh my God, I'm pacing because I'm so frustrated. And my wife is losing her mind because she has so much fucking work to do and she can't do it. Because this doesn't work, and she had to go to the fucking library multiple days to try and get work done, while my daughter is also sick, and we'll get to that in a minute. So it's stressful at home. So we're going through all this, and she's like, all right, she asked for the serial number and all that sort of shit, and I give it to her. Again, extensive periods of silence. And then she's like, there's absolutely no confidence. She's like, okay, I think you're good now. I was like, oh.
After not having said anything to you, it's just the silence and typing. All of a sudden, she comes back in and goes, I think you're good now.
Well, it's also like, oh, she couldn't get the model number in there. Like she couldn't get I have to put it in multiple places. I was like, this ain't your prom night. Get it right, And, she said, oh, I have to reach out to my team lead. And they said this. They said, okay, it should be good. And they're going to call you in 10 minutes. And if it's not working, then we'll go from there. And as soon as I get off the phone, nothing happens. And I go to my portal on my phone, and what used to say TV and internet only says TV now. Internet does not exist on my profile. I'm like, awesome. And then I don't get a call. I get a text that says, your internet's still not working. Let's schedule a follow-up technician. Would tomorrow at between 11 and 1 work for you? And I was like, God. And Jill's like, I'm out. She's left. She's like, I can't stay here.
Yeah. So
then I get the worst tech in the world, as far as like, he seems like a classic Chicago guy.
Okay.
Comes in, big pot belly. For the first guy, Evan, was great. Wore a face mask because Comcast is like, hey, someone has to be there. You need to be wearing your face mask. This guy shows up at the door, no face mask, just kind of leaning against my house and just goes, so what's the problem?
He's got a mustache. He's got flecks of meat in the mustache. Talking with a thick, hey, you got a problem in your house with your internet?
He just goes, so what's the problem? I was like, do you not know why? I'm like, well, I go, why don't you come on in? I'll show you. And he's like, ugh. Comes on in.
You got a ramp I can walk up because I don't step.
It's like, hold on a second. Takes out an Italian beef sandwich. Takes a big bite out of it. Follows it up with a slice of Lou Malnati's, you know.
Okay, I'm ready.
All right. You have any brats?
Tell me you got brown mustard in there.
So he comes in. I explained to him again. I'm like, look, I got a modem. It's hooked up just fine. It's not showing up on my portal. Nothing's working. He's like, so here's the problem. I can tell you the problem right here. This is your modem, and it's not ours, and there's nothing I can do about it. I go, I'm fully aware of that. He goes, but he was like cutting me off and everything, and I was like, listen, this is an Xfinity approved one. He goes, I don't even need to look at that. I don't even care. Just what I'm telling you is we can't do anything. If it's your modem, you bought it. The only thing we do is check the signal, and the signal's looking fine on my end right here. He's showing me. I go, well, and I was trying to explain to him what happened. I was like, well, hey, I called this in. The person on the other line didn't seem confident, and after the call, internet disappeared from my portal. I showed him my phone. I go, I don't have internet on my portal right now.
Yeah.
He's like, well, I mean, the best I could do is I'm showing. It says your modem, and your modem's not responding. I go, that's the old modem. He's like, oh, okay. He hits a button. He goes, I mean, I guess I could do is activate. He pushes a button on his phone. My modem restarts. And then guess what happens, Justin?
Did everything
the internet show up? Everything works. Everything
way.
started working. And I was like, I knew this is what it was. Someone on the other end didn't activate my modem correctly. I was like, this guy's going to come all the way out here. It doesn't need to. Well, then he starts going around, checking stuff out. And he's like, well, you're getting some interference with your wires. And then he goes down and proceeds to look at everything Evan did. And he's like, now why did he do that? And he's doing that whole thing. And I was like, I swear to God, if you undo everything this guy did. And also, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about.
You got an Ethernet cord running up your stairs here. That's not good.
That's probably, that's your problem. That's your problem right there.
The internet doesn't run upstairs.
Yeah. And
it's
so
like water. It's got to go downstairs.
He's starts explaining to me. He's like, see, now look at this. He's testing a cable, and it's like a graph, and then there's green, and then there's red. He's like, see? I go, is this good? Is this a good thing? He's like, this is without, this is with, and it changes. I go, is this like the stock market? Is this a good thing that I'm looking at? He's like, no, that's noise. You don't want noise. I'm like, okay. He's like, so is there a splitter down here? I'm like, I don't fucking know. He went in this closet. I showed him. He's like, okay. And he's starts doing it. He goes, here, hold this. He just hands me his tools. And he's like, trying to unscrew shit as he's doing it. And then I'm like,
pants falling down a little bit.
He's like, he's like, yeah. And then it's like, I was doing work like his apprentice at one point in time. He's like, hands me a wrench. He's like, there you go. Right. Make sure everything's unscrewed over there. And I'm like, why are you putting me to work, man?
Hey, hand me the 3/4 inch the nut driver.
He's what? We call it the nut driver. You know what that is?
It's the 3/4 inch nut driver.
So after all of that, it kind of
puts his cock in his.
I start jerking off. Just
It's my nut driver.
Yeah, there's your bratwurst.
There's your brat.
After all that, he just goes, yeah, I mean, he goes, keep an eye on this. You may have to replace your cables because they're noisy, they're old, whatever. And he goes, and honestly, he goes, I don't know why they just didn't activate this over the phone. I'm like, I know, right? I know. Right? And I was like, and at that point, I was like, I want you to leave. I need you to leave my home immediately because the internet is working, and that's good. Go away.
Yeah, but where do we stand in a brat?
Yeah, it's like, yeah, that's cool. So he leaves. I text Jill. I'm like, we have internet. Come on home. And I start making lunch, and 20 minutes goes by, and all of a sudden, there's a knock at the door, and I go, and Jill's there. I'm like, why are you knocking at the front door? Because usually she pulls in, goes to the garage, and she goes, the fucking Comcast van is still in our driveway. And I was like, why is he still in our driveway? He told me he was behind. I was like, he just took 20 minutes to probably stay in our driveway and probably have lunch or something. I don't know.
He had that brat he was looking forward to.
And Jill he probably pulled it out of the glove compartment. He's like, yeah.
Absolutely, yeah.
The brat compartment,
The glove box brat.
It's always important.
Yeah.
So Jill was furious. She's like, I can't even park in our driveway because this stupid shit is sitting there. And I was like, yeah, exactly. So internet's up and running. Natalie was feeling under the weather. So then I go, Glove brought the brother to the pocket doc. Exactly.
Bingo.
So then I take Natalie to the doctor because she's not feeling well. So I'm like, Jill, get work done. I'll take the kid. I go over there, and she's got sniffles that turned into a cough that got worse. And I take her to the doctor, and the nurse that's seeing her is like kind of eyeing her weirdly because Natalie's like breathing really heavy and really fast.
Yeah.
She's like, huh. So like she tests her blood oxygen levels, and she goes, okay, I'm going to go ahead and call the ambulance. In situations like this, we need to call the ambulance because her oxygen levels are low, and this is not a good thing. And I was like, oh, okay. I was like trying to be cool about it, you know. I'm like, okay, right. For the sake of my daughter, be cool. Just be cool. Right. Be cool. No big deal. No big deal. And she comes in, gets an oxygen tank, gives her some albuterol for like asthma and stuff, and she like starts puffing it. And Natalie almost immediately like perks up after she gets it, and she's like breathing better. And then like the ambulance guys come in, and in this small room, there's like 6 people. All of them huddled around us, all of us asking questions. And this is just Natalie and me, and I have to send a text to Jill. I'm like, hey, we're getting a ride in the ambulance to the ER.
Hey, don't freak out, but.
She's like, holy fuck. I'm like, yeah, we're going. So they come in, and I'm like, I'm cool. I'm like, this makes sense. Practical Doug grabs the wheel and is like, we got this, no big deal. And they're asking questions. They're like, does asthma run in your family? I'm like, no, like asking all this sort of stuff. And so they're like, all right, we're gonna take her. They're like, we can't bring the stretcher in, so are you cool with putting her in the stretcher? And I was like, yeah, sure, no problem. And I picked her up, and as I took her out to the hallway, I see the stretcher, and then that's the moment where Practical Doug lost control of the wheel. And Emotional Doug took over and was like, I started like tearing up. I'm like, you can't cry. So I'm like laying her into this stretcher, which has got this oxygen mask on her. And I was just like, oh, you poor thing.
Right. My baby.
And I was like, Practical Doug just elbows him out of the way, grabs hold, and he just goes, hey, look at this cool bed you get to ride on. It wheels. It's got wheels, and you get your own seatbelt. It goes up and down. How cool is this, huh?
Right.
And I go, hey, you know all those ambulances we've seen, like, on the road? Guess what? We get to ride in one. And Dad's never ridden one before, so this is a new thing for me, too. And she was so cool. Like, she handled it so well.
Yeah.
Was answering the questions, and the EMTs were so cool. As soon as we got into, they loaded her into the ambulance and everything like that, they popped open this seat, and inside they pulled out a teddy bear. And they gave it to her. They're like, all right, that's for you. Before we get to the hospital, which will be 6 minutes, you're going to have to name it. And she just goes, Lollipop. And they're like, wow, that's awesome. We named her Lollipop. And she was just like so cool, hanging in there, like being really good. Part of it was probably because she could breathe normal again, which was great.
Yeah.
And then we got to the ER.
That's why the EMTs are the shit right there.
Absolutely.
EMTs are... For my money, man, I want an EMT by my side. Any, like they are just the shit. They have their shit on lock.
They have to.
I have
like that's their job.
Massive respect for them, right?
Yeah,
absolutely.
They have to know what's going on and how to handle it and make quick decisions to save people's lives.
Absolutely.
And I'm like, here's this 5-year-old kid doesn't know what's going on, who's just dealing with this thing, and the adults in this entire situation were amazing.
Yeah,
and they took excellent care of her. She shows up to the ER. They have a children's wing. She goes into one. They've got like Frozen painted, stuff on there. They get her in there. All the nurses have like Goonies t-shirts or Star Wars t-shirts on. Like they're very like super. And I was wearing a Mario shirt. They're like, hey, nice shirt. I'm like, nice shirt to you too. And I was just trying to be very positive and calm and everything. And they get her in there and they're like, we might have to. We'll keep an eye on her, but we may have to admit her to the ICU, which is like, just what every parent loves to hear. And then a doctor comes in and goes, yeah, your kid may have asthma. Hey, C2. Hey, Are you one of our
Hey.
nurses? Yeah, right. Hey, speaking of C2, check it out. I got your merch, girl. I got it on lock. Yes.
Yeah.
Check it out, girl. Cha-ching. You got it. You got it. Yeah, so we, I did see this on Twitter. I was hoping you'd see it. I made sure to get the logo in there just in case. Yeah, so eventually the doctor's like, yeah, I think she might have asthma. This was an asthma attack. And I was like, well, that's terrifying. He's like, maybe a one-time thing, maybe forever. Who knows? And then ultimately they had to admit her into the ICU and putting, a 5-year-old into a hospital bed, which ended up being for 2 days, where she's hooked up to an IV, and not only that, a mask on her face, feeding her medicine for at least 12 to 18 hours. Not a small feat. But God bless them. All the nurses were phenomenal. The doctors were great. They were like, hey, what do you like to do? What do you like? Yeah. She's like, I like unicorns. Like, we don't have unicorns, but we got this awesome stuffed dragon. And they gave her this dragon. They gave her like activity books. They gave her bubbles. And they're like, you need to do bubbles every hour. And if you complete, and you put a sticker for every hour, and if you do, you get a special prize. And that's so like awesome. Here she is with these giant bubbles, just throwing them around, and it was great. And they got stuff for her to paint. She got to sit and watch TV, and she watched Endgame twice, which was awesome. And it was
not your typical 5-year-old. I love it.
So while internet didn't work on Tuesday, which is normally when we record, on Wednesday, Justin was like, what do you think? Is it fixed? I'm like, it's fixed. But then I'm like, going to the hospital. We're probably not going to be recording this week.
You want to give a shout out to the hospital?
Yeah, Edwards Hospital in Naperville. You all were amazing. And Jen, one of the nurses, I can't remember. I'm so bad with names. They took phenomenal care of Natalie and us. And thank you, Married with Gaming. I'm so glad to hear Natalie's okay. Me too. We went to the doctor today just to do a checkup. She's on the up and up. So, we've had to do breathing treatments at home for her and everything like that, but she's remarkably great. And
that's fantastic.
Stayed home from school yesterday and today. And after I made dinner with her, after dinner, she's like, let's play Uno. And we were just playing Uno for like 40 minutes straight.
Back to it. Yeah.
Yeah, man. She's doing great. So
that's awesome.
Long-winded answer to a question you all didn't ask, but where was the episode? Didn't exist because my life was kind of a living hell last week. So I did pop in and do a Saturday night stream because I'm like, I was going to go to Wisconsin for a vacation. That got canceled. So I'm like, well, I'm here. I guess I'll play some games and I'll stream for a little bit. So it was something. It was something. So apologies for that not happening, but it was for a good reason.
Yeah, exactly. And it's so good to hear that everything worked out for the best, like that's, and that everyone, not only kept their cool, but, made her feel comfortable and handled their business. It just top to bottom. It sounds like, except for that second Comcast tech, everyone over the last week handled their business and did a good job. So
yeah, it was definitely one of those moments where you realize, oh, none of this shit matters. Like immediately, like everything went out the window as far as like priorities and what was a priority. I'm like, fuck that. Like, I don't care. Like I got shit I got to do. And my work was phenomenal. They were so cool. They're like, yeah, go do your things. Like, see you later. It was all good. It was very
so
cool.
Good to hear.
Yeah. So, it's definitely, and unfortunately, it was not COVID also, which was a good thing. I was like, great, she's got
fantastic.
COVID. Fucking awesome. But she didn't, which was cool. So yeah, she's doing better. She's on the up and up. We're getting back in the swing of things. And there was some great family time spent actually in the hospital playing. She loves playing cards, man. She loves playing Crazy Eights. She loves playing Uno. I introduced her to a new board game, which she's not in love with, but she will love it. She will. But yeah,
you got to keep an eye on those cards, man. You might have a gambler in your hands.
I'm impressed at how good she is at Uno.
Yeah.
Like, especially when you play Uno with two people, it's a much more aggressive game.
Oh, I told you about that over New Year's. Beth and I played 2-person speed Uno, and we just because you can hit someone with the reverse, then the skip, and then the
+2,
and then the wild draw 4, and you can just fuck their day.
Natalie did that to me tonight.
Yeah, girl.
She goes reverse and skip.
Yep.
+2, Uno, I win. I'm like,
boom.
you're 5. How do you know how to do this, man? It's crazy.
Yes.
It's wild, man. It's and it's so intense because usually I can like, there's some strategy involved with it. But for the most part, it's just insanity. But like when I play with Jill, Natalie, and I'm like, all right, I'm not going to play this one right away. I'm going to save it. I made that mistake with 2-person. She was like, bam, 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 bam. I'm like, fuck, I may have just lost the game immediately because I wasn't aggressive.
Absolutely.
You're 5, says C2. Yeah, she's hilarious. Natalie's, her vocabulary is changing. Tonight she was just like, as I'm shuffling, she's like, revenge. I'm like, do you know what revenge means? She goes, no. I'm like, she goes, it just sounds cool. I'm like, you're not wrong. It does. Right. It's a cool sounding word.
She's like, I don't know what that means. Pulls out a regular deck of card. All right, the game is 5-card drop.
The game is called Revenge. Here's how it's played.
AC/DC Wild. Here we go. Yeah. Wait, what? What do we? Yeah.
What's happening?
Buy-in's $10. Small blind is She's just. Wait, what happened to you? Where did you learn this?
She's like, I was in the hospital, Dad. Right. Face some hard truths.
I did time.
By the way, we don't owe anything for our hospital stay. I took care of it. You're welcome. What?
You're welcome.
That's awesome.
Thank you? ?
I guess.
Again, you're 5.
Practical Doug is thrilled with this. You're earning your keep, but
there you go, yeah.
All the other Dougs are like, huh? This is scary.
Yeah.
Things are on the up and up. We're doing better, and that's the exciting part.
That's good. And we're here. And we're here this week.
We are here this week.
We're here for you, the listener, the viewer, you.
You know who's not here anymore is Anthony Bourdain.
Yes, R.I.P.
R.I.P. Anthony Bourdain. And there was this news article that came out that said Anthony Bourdain's AI faked voice and new documentary sparks backlash. Right. Is the children's health care free, or does that bill still fuck you up? I don't know. We have good insurance. I know that much. So we'll see.
Oh, Jared, this is America, not Australia.
Yeah.
Nothing's free.
No. Although I'll say this much.
Yeah.
We ordered food. And normally I'm like, this is going to be, what, $15 for like, a bowl of Cheerios and a banana. It was incredibly reasonable priced. I was like,
really? This
is really, really good. You get like French toast and bacon for like $4 or $5. I was like, that is phenomenal. Especially for like
cheaper than going out to breakfast.
Right. It was phenomenal.
Yeah.
But
wait.
Anthony Bourdain's dead.
What?
Huh? So if you're not aware, there's a new documentary coming out based around Anthony Bourdain, and the documentary filmmaker Morgan Neville it's called he's directing Roadrunner, a film about Anthony Bourdain, which opens theaters on this Friday. Looks like, is that right? Yeah, this Friday, or maybe it was last Friday, because this was dated on the 15th, so it may already be out. Who knows? Details not important. But what happened in this, based on this article, was there were a couple of
came out last on the 16th. 16th. Friday.
Gotcha. That makes sense. So in the documentary, they weave in narration by Bourdain, pulled from audio clips, show outtakes, video interviews, and audiobooks. However, when asked how he obtained some quotes from Bourdain in a new article in The New Yorker, Neville tells the writer Helen Rosner that he used artificial intelligence to create 3 quotes with Bourdain's voice. So he says, I created an AI model of his voice. If you watch the film, other than that line you mentioned, you probably don't know what the other lines are that were spoken by the AI, and you're not going to know. So these things that were spoken through the Anthony Bourdain AI were things that he had originally written. I think that's a really, yes, C2 is on it.
Point.
Where the quotes were written originally, yes, because Anthony Bourdain was also a prolific writer. And so they took, instead of like just having a quote up there, the director felt that it'd be great if he said it. So they used an AI program to create Bourdain's voice, and then he spoke the words that he had originally written. And this created a big backlash on the internets.
And it kind of goes along the lines of what we've talked about previously on the podcast with people recasting James Dean in films, or what was the other one that we recently did? That was along the same vein.
Yeah, I can't remember what it was.
I completely just
AI
blanked
music. It was like, oh yeah,
Yes.
the AI is going to write a Nirvana song. You know,
recreating a Nirvana song, Kurt Cobain and all that. So yeah, it's funny because with those, you and I both agreed pretty much up and down that we did not like James Dean being recast, or because it's not James Dean, or a Linkin Park song being rewritten by AI because it's not Linkin Park. It's not, there's no human element to it. I think what's different, and Tupac's hologram, yeah, that's another one. But I think what's different about this, and I think C2 brought this up, is that these were Anthony Bourdain's words, and he just didn't speak them on record. He wrote them, so in essence, he said them. And all we're doing is just hearing a approximation of what those words would sound like would he have said them. And it's not in no way, shape, or form are we assuming his intent. Are we assuming what he would have said, or like the acting choices that this James Dean AI would make? You may be taking previous choices that he made in previous films, but those choices would not stand. Almost certainly those choices would not stand in a new movie because it's a different character. So you are making assumptions as to what he would have been doing. With Bourdain, you're not making any assumptions. Bourdain said these things. These are his words. You're just putting sound to those words. So to me, I see this as a very different thing. Everyone's getting outraged because of basically the rationale of what we've talked about previously. I see this as a completely different thing. I don't think there's anything necessarily wrong with this application of the technology.
C2 brings up a pretty good point too, which is it's upsetting because if you're okay with this, then people will keep doing it and eventually it won't be cool, actually. And I think, we talked about this kind of in our production meeting. For me, it's anytime AI is used like this, we absolutely need to talk about it.
Right.
We need to break it down and be like, is this okay? Because we are going to very quickly head into some really weird territory, and we need to be able to identify what is okay and what is not. And, for example, I just, at my organization, took a new cybersecurity training and for the second quarter. And I think one of the things they were talking about was vishing, which is essentially trying to mimic someone else's voice to scam people. And there was a story about a CEO who got a frantic phone call from a CFO saying, we have a severely overdue invoice for $200,000. We need to pay this immediately. I need your sign off on it. And the CEO was like, done. Turns out that was an AI generated voice of the CFO that absolutely tricked the CEO. The CEO was like, the slight accent, everything about it was excellent. It was phenomenal. And that's the kind of shit where that is existing in the same universe where we're using AI to create Anthony Bourdain's voice.
Right.
So we got to look at the intent. We got to look at what are the ramifications. So C2 made another good point too. She's like, we already have a way to do this, which is you put them on the screen or have someone else read their words and quote them like normal quotes. And
it's a very fair point too.
But I would also say, from a creative standpoint, as someone who makes videos as an instructional designer and everything like that, I would be annoyed if I had voice quotes and things for everything except for like 3 lines. That would bug me because I'd be like, oh, what am I going to do? Like, how are we going to utilize this? Because we have everything else. So in that regard, I
see what you're saying.
Yeah, like just for consistency's sake, right?
Yeah.
If you have everything you need, but you got to be like, have someone else read it, or it's just the words on the screen, maybe it doesn't have the same effect that you're looking for. I get it from that aspect. And I also think, but But if you don't have the voice, you actually don't have it, do you? God, you are appealing to practical Doug. This is the same logic I say for someone who wants to illegally download music, right? It's like, hey, if you don't have money, because that's the thing. Oh, I don't have enough money, so I'll pay it forward later. It's like, well, if you don't have the money, you don't get to buy something, right? Like that's just what it is. So
right.
I lay down my sword on that one. Like you got me there. Night, Zenny. Thanks for hanging out. That's so true, right?
Yeah.
Like you work with what you have.
But to that, I would say again, and this is a very a very loose argument. I don't have a lot behind this because it's a discussion, but I would say that, in the same way that like CG is used, like in a film, like if you don't have a Hulk, then don't put a Hulk on the screen. Like you could.
Lou Ferrigno would agree with you on that. He would absolutely agree with you on that.
We had a Hulk. I'm right. No, but in a very flimsy argument way. I think it's they're testing the bounds of what can be used or what can be done with technology. Now, I would say to that, the toothpaste is out of the tube on this one. So, like, if we need, like, it's okay to use for movies, but not okay. You got to watch out for these scammers that are going to be using it, for the phone. Or, we have to stop developing it. Well, it's too late. It's been developed. It's been utilized. It's out there. There's no putting it away. So now we have to develop either parameters around when we're going to use it, kind of like we talked about in the chat there, or we've got to talk about countermeasures to figure out when, when something is either some sort of almost like a Spotify or what's the Shazam type thing where it can detect, this was digitally created. This is not a true vocal speech or something like that. We almost need to develop then technology that can counter it.
Yeah. And I think C2 makes a point here in that if you don't have the voice, then you don't have the voice. But also, we have the technology now. So it's now an option. And I think that's, there was a professor I had in grad school who was a composer, and he talked about how he recorded it live with an orchestra, but there was a couple horns or something like that he felt was missing. So he added them in via, computer generated stuff. He goes, you guys would probably never even know. You wouldn't be able to tell me where that stuff existed because I, filled that in. And I kind of look at this the same way of if he hadn't said anything, would anyone have known? Now that's both relieving and terrifying at the same time, right? Because if he doesn't say anything and you don't know, then the AI is working extremely well.
Right.
And I think that's kind of like my issue with this too, is like the backlash on this I feel was excessive and over the top, and that, people were like, Anthony Bourdain would have hated this. It's like, well, not to sound awful, but he's dead. And, you don't know that. I feel the intention here was good. And because of that, I think I give this director a lot more leeway. But I think where I do have an issue is allegedly he didn't necessarily get the full approvals to do this from Bourdain's widow and the estate. So that I'm like, you're in the wrong if you didn't do that, because apparently his widow was like, yeah, you didn't get that from me.
Right. He said he did, and the widow came back saying, I disagree very much that you did.
You didn't get it from me.
Right. Exactly. Now, unless he can provide some sort of signed document that she said, yes, that's okay, outside. But then now, can that signature be forged? What's real anymore? Does time even matter?
Yeah. No, again, C2 is just like nailing it with all the points. It's definitely better that he had written the words, but also a person who has a live performance presence has a written presence. I wouldn't want someone to assume how I would have said something I wrote, so that's how I look at it. He's also dead, so he can't approve. This is definitely weird gray territory.
Yes.
Where, again, I truly believe the intention is good here.
Right.
So I give the director a lot of credit. I don't think he was trying to pull one over. C2 should have been the guest. You know what, Jared? You're probably right. I think you're right. C2 is a wonderful guest right now. Slotty, yeah, I think we fucked up on that one. Yeah, we probably did. But I think, you know, the intention is so important and it's so hard to measure. I think in most situations where there's any sort of outrage, I think we really have to look at what was the person attempting to do. I don't look at this director trying to do something shitty. I think he's trying to capture the best elements of Anthony Bourdain. And I think he wanted to give the best possible way to articulate what Anthony Bourdain was doing. And on paper, it's like, cool, we're going to take something he wrote. We're going to, no, we can't replicate it, but we have technology that can make it sound like him, and it will give it more weight and more value. We'll add to this thing that we're creating. So let's do that. So I look at that from the creators, you know, and I give them a lot of leeway. I don't see it as someone trying to do something nefarious.
Yes, and I feel like there's this unquantifiable element that I like. For me, if they had done the entire movie and every line of dialogue that he speaks, every time that you heard Anthony Bourdain's voice, it was replicated through AI, I would then have an issue with that.
Yeah.
The fact that it was 3 lines, and again, you could ask the question, well, what's the number of lines? Is it 50% of the dialogue? Is it 10%? Is it 5 lines? They did 3. Is it 4? Is 4 too much? Is 2 too much? Like, it's an unquantifiable metric that I'm putting out there. But excuse me, I think
I got you. What Justin was going to say is, I think that Anthony Bourdain, if they were continuing to make No Reservations episodes now, and AI generating those episodes with Anthony Bourdain, that's a problem. I think they're profiting off of Anthony Bourdain's likeness and his ghost to create more content, which is why having a hologram of James Dean is gross. Because James Dean, like Justin said, is not the one acting. They're putting his image on there and using some sort of machine to reproduce what he's doing, and that's weird.
Bingo. Yes. I don't know if that was... Did I get possessed because I was saying the wrong thing? Who knows? I don't know what that was. But that is in essence what I was saying. It's a non-quantifiable metric that I'm putting out there. But I think because it was 3 lines and it was used for effect to kind of elicit a little bit more gravitas around the subject of his life and his death, I think it was used for probably the right reasons. But again, who knows? Like what, you know, I don't know how you, and the thing is too, does it open up this portal for it to be used more often, and then it starts to get overused, and then like at what point do we put a check on this?
Yeah, and like I said, every time we decide to use AI, I think we as a society need to talk about it. We need to examine it, and we need to decide what parts of it are we okay with and what parts are we not, because this is how we as a group have to decide how this stuff is used, because there's going to be parts where I think we're going to be more fiercely divided. I'm not as divided on this. I get it. I get some of the outrage, not all of it. It's fine to be nervous about this. This is weird. This is not a natural thing. So we should absolutely talk about it.
And I think the potential ramifications too, like where you see this going is, you know, what's to stop, you know, and I'll take it. There's no way to not take it to the political realm, but what's to stop, you know, the alt-right from saying, hey, we have audio recording of AOC saying this horrific thing, you know, about former, you know, President Trump or Obama. She's saying bad things about her own party and yada yada. Like, and then how do you prove that? And she can say, I never said that. Well, we have a recording of it. So it gets into a place where, again, this is why the conversation needs to be had. People need to be made aware that this technology is out there and it's currently being used in media. People need to understand that.
Tone and speech is part of meaning. Absolutely.
100%.
Absolutely. That's as important as intent. I've said it before, I'll say it again. If you read the transcript of a stand-up set, you'd probably be horrified because you can't hear the tone and how it's being delivered. Right. And, you're like, look at this horrible thing they said. It's like, yeah, but how did they say it? How did they deliver it? What was the comedic timing? Like, what was the intent behind it? It could be horrific if you don't understand it, and things taken out of context. If you just take one sliver of thing that maybe is an ongoing joke or a callback to something that happened earlier and you don't understand it, it could sound awful. So yeah, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. That's in the Bible.
Well, how many times have you had that fight with someone or a significant other? You're just like, it's not what you said, it's how you said it to me.
Right. That's why I try to explain to my 5-year-old now. I was like, listen, there's ways you asked for things, okay? You said the right words, but boy, that came out of your mouth real shitty. So let's try it again.
Right. If you look at me and said, can I please have a piece of cake, fuckhead?
Yeah.
You said it kindly, but you called me a fuckhead. Yeah. And I don't like that. That hurt.
I'd probably still do it because it was so sweet. You said
because
it so
was
nice.
So sweet. And technically I was being a fuckhead. So you used it in the right context.
So bonus points.
Bonus points for you. Have 2 cakes.
2 cakes. Well, I think we need to transition over now to Ask Practical Doug. Let's do it, baby. We got a new one.
Oh!
You got the questions, we got the answers. All you do is ask. Practical, 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 practical. Ask Practical Doug.
Damn it. I'm never ready for the farts. God damn it. So welcome to Ask Practical Doug. If you're, This is a new segment we're doing where all you have to do is if you have a question, a conundrum, a debacle, and you want to access the little guy, the other Doug that lives in my brain named Practical Doug, all you got to do, reach out to us on our social medias at Mind Gap Podcast or join our Discord. We have a channel set aside specifically for Ask Practical Doug. We will ask your question and you will get an answer on this show. This one is brought to us by our very own Noah Reno. You can check him out on Twitch at Noah Reno. And he asks an amazing...
Hey. Maybe I ask you the question and you answer it.
Thank you. What is this? The second time we've done this?
You can just...
I can just shut up.
Go to town if you want.
No.
Yeah.
You go. You do it. Okay. Sorry.
So Noah Reno at Noah Reno asks, I got to ask, what's Doug's take on shoes? There are empires based on shoes. My mother, a few years ago, made a point to buy a very specific pair of shoes for her 100th pair of shoes owned at once. I personally have 3 to 4 pairs at any given time for things like recreation, work, comfort, and then my shit pair that I can't bring myself to get rid of. I suppose the question is, what's the right amount of shoes to own, and how long should you hold on to a pair?
This is a phenomenal question because
normally comes from Noah Reno.
Yes. And this is a discussion I've had. This is going to sound very cliche and hacky, but this is a conversation I've had with my wife many times. Because I am super weird in that I don't have that many pairs of shoes. I have my shoes that I use. So this is how I do shoes, right? I have a pair that I wear like every day. And to Jill, that's weird because Jill's like, well, don't you switch them out? I'm like, why? She goes, they'll last longer. I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, this is probably Practical Doug that doesn't understand math and how it works. But in my mind, I'm like, I wear them until they break and then I get a new pair. Like you
and I have had this. I've heard you speak of this specifically. We were at assignment desk and I remember you saying this because I said the same thing. I'm like, well, if you get 2 pairs, you swap them out. You're like, yeah, but both will wear out in the same amount. Like we had this, but please continue. This is bringing back a flood of memories for me.
Yeah. So I have a pair of dress shoes, right? So for those times where you gotta look nice. I have a pair of I guess my everyday shoes. I've got a pair of sandals. And I have lawn mowing shoes. And what happens is once a pair starts getting worn down, they get downgraded to the lawnmower shoes and the old lawnmower shoes go in the garbage. So I always had there's a second life for them as mowing the lawn. So because they get gross, and you gotta keep them. You gotta have those lawn mowing shoes.
Absolutely.
I also have a pair of boots for the winter times when I have to shovel. So I don't have that many pairs. Jill has, a lot of shoes, and so that's such a good idea to make them lawn mowing shoes. So 100%. For me, what makes sense? Owning 100 pairs of shoes doesn't compute. Practical Doug does. That's like dividing by 0. This is insane to me that anyone would own 100 pairs of shoes at one time, because Practical Doug says you're not getting the efficient. It's inefficient to have that many because you are not using them to their full value. To me, that'd be the same thing as buying a really nice car and then never driving it because I don't want anything to happen to it. And besides, a car is what, Justin? A depreciating asset. So that's also a bad investment.
Right,
so,
like shoes. Shoes are depreciating assets.
They are, right? You wear them,
technically.
And so for me, when it comes to like the right number of shoes, I think you have your dress shoes. That's number 1. You have, I'll say there's some specialty shoes like for working out, right? Maybe you have running shoes. Maybe you have shot put shoes. Maybe you have wrestling shoes. I'm calling those your workout shoes. So,
You've got 4 pairs.
You've got a special. Hey, if you do all those things, congratulations, you got them all. But you can have like your specialty pair.
Okay.
You've got like your everyday casual shoes, right?
Okay.
So that's 3. Sandals, right? You got to have sandals.
We started with dress, right?
Yes, dress.
Dress, workout, every day. Sandals, okay.
Mm-hmm. Sandals, and then if you want to have like your shitty shoes, like for lawn mowing, I'm gonna go do something gross. Let's put on these kinds of shoes. Maybe a pair of boots for like rain and snow. You're covered there. And I'll throw in an optional one if you want like water shoes. If you're doing a lot of water stuff and you want to make sure to protect your feet while you're in the water, I'll throw that in as an option.
You're doing a lot of water sports, Doug?
I go to the pool every week.
Daddy.
Hey, baby. Water's water. I go to the family swim with Natalie every week, and the bottom of that pool scrapes up my feet. So I've also went to a lake recently, and it was gross and full of rocks and water
so you got
spiders.
Your aqua socks.
So I got my aqua socks.
All right.
So I'd say 7 or 8. I think 7 or 8 makes sense. And I'd even say for a couple of those, you can double up a little bit if you want. If you want to have like those running shoes, maybe double up on them, whatever. So I'd say 10 or less would make the most sense to me. I don't think anything beyond that gets kind of wild. Now, I also understand my shoes for things like, dressing up are basic as shit. I only have black shoes. I don't have a lot of other colors because black shoes go with everything. I understand that there's a lot of other shoes out there. Some people like to match that stuff. Shoes are not a huge part of my accessory, or they're not a huge part of my ensemble. It's not like, oh, and then these shoes go with this shirt and these shorts, and so then I'm like, nah, man, I'm wearing these shoes. I try to get shoes that will work with everything. They're usually pretty boring, and whatnot. But that's what it is. I'll say Practical Doug says 10 shoes or less. 10 pairs of shoes or less is what you should have in your possession. Anything more is just not practical.
You got the questions, we got the answers. All you do is ask. Practical, 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 practical. Ask Practical Doug.
There it is.
I love it. I fucking love this segment. Guys, give me more questions, please. Fucking give me more questions. I love this. This is great. At our socials, at MindGap Podcast. Hit us up via Gmail, just mindgappodcast@gmail.com, or join us on our Discord. Drop it in the Ask Practical Doug section. I want to hear it. I want to answer your shit. So thank you. Thank you, Noah
Practical
Reno.
Doug pontificates and posits on your proposed queries. I couldn't come up with another P.
Propositions?
Sure.
Yeah, sure. There we go. Ponderances. Thank you.
Ooh,
Thank
yes.
you, Tint.
Pontificates on your proposed ponderances.
There we go.
I
Phenomenal
love it.
stuff. I love it too. You know what else I love, Justin?
What's that?
I don't know. You tell me.
Oh shit! Is it time already?
I think it's.
Welcome to the Throwdown.
I was not. Look, so many theme songs happening now that I was not prepared for the next one.
Yeah, that was a terrible segue. As I want to do, I'm like, I'm ready for it. What? I don't know. How? Yeah,
You know
like,
you know
see what I love?
What, Rick and Morty? What?
You know what else
What
I
do you
love
love?
though? You got there real quick.
Yep.
You were like, hold on, click. I saw the screen change. You're like, I gotta get to this thing fast.
Oh my! All right.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
So for those again who don't know, since it's still new the way we're doing this,
Oh my God.
it used to work where I would just in the middle of an episode, something would spark an idea, and I would come up with a throwdown on the spot. And Doug wouldn't know what it was. I wouldn't know until it happened mid-episode, and the guest wouldn't know. We then started having our production meetings, and we would spend literally at least a half hour, I'd say, sometimes longer, trying to figure out what the throwdown was going to be. And we finally said, you know what? This isn't organic. This isn't spontaneous. This isn't in the moment. So now we have assembled a council of elders in the Discord whose sole purpose is to come up with throwdowns that Doug and I do not see until the theme song for the throwdown rolls. And then we're privy to the throwdown. So we are just seeing this week's throwdown for the first time. And Doug, I got to say, I'm excited for this one. So whenever you're ready, my friend.
Let's do it. This week's throwdown is the Ronald McDonald Crew versus the Chuck E. Cheese Gang. Whew.
All right.
Whew. Okay.
And I do like the note that was put in here for us. It says the photos of the animatronics of each character are nightmare fuel.
Yep. Yep. So.
Oh my goodness. All right.
I
I like how there's a Showbiz Pizza wiki too. There's a damn wiki for everything.
There really is, isn't there? So let's start with the Chuck E. Cheese band. So what? Okay, I'm reading this. I don't understand how it says. Conceived and debuting in 1989 as a way to phase out the Rock-afire explosion without removing some of the desirable elements, Munch's make-believe band incorporated the Pizza Time players in a band-style setup through concept unification. Did I just cast a spell in Dungeons and Dragons? What the fuck just happened? Like,
Well, I
what?
have to click on Rock-afire Explosion and see what the fuck this is.
Yeah.
The Rock-afire Explosion is an animatronic band that played in Showbiz Pizza Place restaurants from 80 to 1993. The show was pioneering in many respects to the other animatronic shows of the early 80s. Blah, blah, blah. Following the completion of rebranding, the show was sold to other restaurants and entertainment centers such as Circus Pizza, Pistol Pete's Pizza, and Billy Bob's Wonderland. Oh boy.
All right.
Yeah.
So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 people in the Chuck E. Cheese gang.
These are nightmare fuel.
And you've got
God.
Chuck. Where are you seeing that? What are you clicking on?
Oh no, I was looking at the Rock-afire Explosion.
Yeah, I'm good. I don't want to look at him.
Yeah, you don't need to see it.
You
Save
got
yourself.
Chuck E. Cheese, Helen Henny, Mr. Munch. Sounds like someone I knew in high school.
I feel like this just fits for what we're about to go into. Uh-oh.
Hear that?
Yeah.
That's the sound of the Mighty Bliss firing up, baby. As we talk about Mr. Munch. Followed by Jasper T. Jowls.
D-Jowls.
Pasquale P. Pie Plate. Jesus Christ. Moon. There's someone whose name is Building.
They got lazy. Okay.
Wink. Winks after every show. Pizza Cam. And Munch Jr. That's right.
Okay.
Justin.
What about Krusty the Cat? What was he part of?
I That's just a popular page, man. I don't know if he's from anything in. Oh, he's a Chuck E. Cheese character. Retired.
Oh, he did his 30 years, got his gold watch, and then moved on.
He got put down. As he got sent to the farm.
Yeah.
Justin, take us through the McDonald's characters, because I think right now I'm already giving them a significant advantage because there's just more of them.
Well, my God. I mean, the difference here, too, is that the McDonald's characters have write-ups. So
Right.
Ronald McDonald, primary icon of McDonald's. He's a clown with red hair, a big red smile, yellow suit, red shoes. We've got Sunday. That's Ronald's dog. He only appears in the wacky adventures of Ronald McDonald. We've got Grimace, the large purple character. In 1971, he debuted as Evil Grimace. So that leads me to believe that he's got powers. We've got Hamburglar, right? A pint-sized burglar who debuted in 1971, was one of the first villains. So this guy, he's got skills, all right? He's a thief, expert thief. Birdie the Early Bird, Fry Kids, Mayor McCheese, an enormous cheeseburger who appeared from
That guy's
71 to
terrifying.
08. Oh, yeah, but delicious. Officer Big Mac, who, for some reason in my head, always had an Irish accent because he was
it's
dressed
Officer
like
Big Mac.
right. Oh, I'm sorry. Did they get me special sauce on you? Captain Crook, that's a lawsuit waiting to happen. The Professor, the Hamburger Patch. I don't even want to know what that is. Uncle O'Grimacy.
Wait, hold on. I'm sorry. The Hamburger Patch is part of the fictional city of McDonald Land, where McDonald's hamburgers grew like fruit on plants from the Hamburger Patch.
Oh, life expectancy in McDonald Land is very low. Shockingly low. There's the Happy Meal gang, the McNugget Buddies, Cosmic, and then trash cans. They just have trash cans listed. Bernice, Vulture, I Am Hungry, Gridler, Mike the Microphone, Mac Tonight, Happy, Speedy, Aster, and then Voice Chasers. Mac Tonight, I remember that moon looking. He was
right. Yeah, that
For
dude
him?
was like really. He made me uncomfortable.
Oh, he made my undies drop every time I looked at him.
Oh.
Yep.
So now, according to this, not all of these guys are active at the same
Right.
time, but still, there's a shitload of them, man.
There's a shitload of. Here's the thing. I would say out of the characters we listed here, it's Ronald McDonald, Grimace, Hamburglar, Birdie, Mayor McCheese, and Officer Big Mac. Those I feel like are like the main ones I remember from childhood.
What about the Fry Kids?
I remember the McNugget Buddies more than the Fry Kids.
So there's additional gangs that they have that they can call upon, basically,
That's
as
true.
reinforcements.
So would you call this the MCU?
Fuck
Or the
you.
the MDU? This is the MDU.
Yeah, I think they just have way more in numbers, and honestly, the
But
Chuck
here's
E.
the
Che-
thing.
Mm-hmm.
They have way more in numbers, but if we're going by Terminator rules, Chuck E. Cheese gang are the only ones with androids.
True, but that also means they're bolted to the floor if we're going that way. They have limited mobility.
Well, that's interesting.
So if you want to go down that road about what they really truly are, I think that puts severe limitations on them.
Okay.
Whereas
okay.
if we leave them as like characters that are real, I look at the Chuck E. Cheese band as McDonald's folks seem like they are genuinely happy and positive and exist for good. Chuck E. Cheese seems like the guys that will go out and perform when they're done. They light a cigarette, and they go and buy heroin, and they grab some pizza off the buffet, and they just sort of sit in their room. You know, they take off their vest. They have tattoos all over their body, track marks. You know, some of them are not getting to call time on time, or if they are, they're like they have their sunglasses on because they're hungover, or you know, for some reason, you know, Mr. Munch always has some sort of blood on his clothes. You know, there's always something happening with these guys. These guys show up and they do their job.
Yes.
Once the set's over anything goes. So I imagine them having a lot of shit. They've seen a lot of shit. Whereas the McDonald's people literally live in their own fantasy world.
Right. They live in an idealistic. They've got a mayor. There's obviously a functioning government in place in McDonald land.
Yeah.
Whereas, and I feel like the Chuck E.
Cheese, they live in our world, man.
They live in our world.
Yeah.
They don't live in some paradise. They have never been allowed to come into McDonald land. And the other thing is too, Chuck E. Cheese characters will get after each other, but very similar to siblings, they're only allowed to get after each other. If someone else comes after them, hellfire rains down.
Chuck E.
Absolute
Cheese,
hellfire.
Chuck E. Cheese is a fucking rat.
Right.
Dude, that guy will chew through anything.
Yeah. And he is, I mean, a lot of people don't know this, disease-ridden.
It's actually strange to me that this brand was able to exist, a food joint with a rat as the like logo. That's insane. Like, it's crazy that happened.
I've got to just, I'm opening some individual ones just because I've got a good idea what all the McDonald's characters look like, but I need to open up Mr. Munch. Oh, okay. Yeah, no. Mr. Munch right there. Mr. Munch takes
that
down
guy.
Grimace.
That guy. Yeah. He's a dinosaur.
Right. Grimace is, a bell-shaped, exists on wishes.
He is
Pasquale
slow and dim-witted, so that he does have that going against him. But you don't have to be
Mr.
smart.
Munch?
Yeah, you don't have to be smart to fuck somebody up, though.
Oh, no. It's all about look, Grimace's shape gets in his way.
Yeah.
The Grimace's shape. Now, I'll say this, Pasquale, or Pascali, whatever, a horribly, like just...
Good Lord.
Could not be more like stereotypically like it's an Italian.
Yeah.
What do we got here? Moon. What's Moon all about? I don't see a picture for Moon. Do you?
Let me see. I don't think so.
Oh, yeah, no. Moon. This is the thing. Moon is the supplier of the group.
Yeah.
If you scroll down,
Moon
is, first off, he is the alcoholic of the group. And he also is the biggest dope fiend. He's the one that supplies the smack to the rest of the crew.
Yeah, that's the guy that does not get up until it's time to perform.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And there's a 50% chance that he's going to try to stab you when you get him up to perform.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do we got? Wink? What's Wink look like?
Building is an actual building, so there's that.
Just a building, yeah. What the fuck is Wink?
Is it from... Okay. I don't know.
The animated movement of Chuck E. Cheese's left eye and the signs on the very... Okay, nope. We're just going to go ahead and shut that right down.
So
Pizza is a camera, which records all the debauchery.
Yeah. And it holds...
And then, Munch Jr.
Yeah.
It's just a smaller version. Yeah. These guys, the Chuck E. Cheese crew is hardened, just vicious, mean individuals.
Yeah. And they have no problem with taking Ronald McDonald out of their fantasy world and bring him to reality with their violence.
Right. Well, the thing is, Munch approaches the very first thing. He approaches Mayor McCheese and takes a giant bite out of his head. And he established his dominance right there. Like, he's like, your government is now hobbled.
And now as the mayor falls on the ground, like bleeding out and dying, he just goes, "Thank you very much." That's apparently his catchphrase. So
we didn't know that until right now. So that's canon. So I think we're saying Chuck E. Cheese gang.
That's right.
I don't think I've ever been more terrified than I have about the Chuck E. Cheese gang.
Kudos to the elders of the throwdown. That was a wild one. I did not see that coming, and it was delightful. So thank you very much. This
is fantastic. I mean, right there too. It's in the name. The Ronald McDonald Crew versus the Chuck E. Cheese gang.
Yeah, it was ripe.
It's in the name.
It's in the name for sure. Justin, what do you got to recommend this week, pal?
It's in the name. This week, I'm going to recommend Sid Penrose, guys. Took a long time to come out. It is out. go check out Sid Penrose. Please give it a watch. Just go to YouTube, or actually just go to Google, type in Sid Penrose, and every result is us, thankfully. So you can find us there. If you go to YouTube, type in Sid Penrose, you'll find us there too. Yeah, it's something that we've gotten some absolutely incredible feedback and response from. We are so thrilled with everyone who has watched it, who has commented to us and said, like, hey, this and this and this, shared a personal story. It's meant the world to us to see people finding these connections to the story and having it speak to them. So please go watch it. If you want to talk to us about it afterwards, we'd love to. If you want to share it, we would be elated if you did that. So please check out Sid Penrose. And then also, don't forget, Ted Lasso comes out this motherfucking Friday, the 23rd. Yeah, that's Friday. 23rd season 2 starts on Apple TV Plus. So if you haven't done it yet, get caught up on Ted Lasso season 1 so you can enjoy season 2. Doug, what do you got?
I'd also just like to say, Sid Penrose, wow, you guys did a phenomenal job. It's a really great short film. Take 10 minutes and watch it. It's great. It's a phenomenal film. You guys should be absolutely thrilled and proud of yourselves. I'm so happy for you. For me, I'm going to recommend a board game that I just recently got back into after several years. It's a game called Machikoro, and it's a wonderful game that involves dice rolling, chance, a little bit of strategy, and it's super fun. Essentially, you are the mayor of a town, and your objective is to purchase and unlock 4 attractions. And you do that by investing in your town, by buying different things that will unlock based on the dice rolls. And it's super fun. And I actually played it. I've been playing it a lot with my family. And then last night, I got Slotty, Noah, and Alpaca on Tabletop Simulator, and we played it for like 3 or 4 rounds and had an absolute blast. So go check it out. Support your local board game store. Go buy it. It's a phenomenal game. Highly recommend it. Do it. Make yourself happy.
It honestly sounds like the beginning of how Mayor McCheese built up McDonald World. McDonald Land? What was it? Where do they live? Whatever.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Because it's burned down now. Salted earth, baby. Scorched earth tactics. That being said, everyone, please don't forget to check us out on all our social medias at Mind Gap Podcast. Be sure to follow us on Twitch, twitch.tv/Mind Gap Podcast. We live stream our podcast every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Central, and Saturdays we do our live video game stream at 8 p.m. Central as well. So come check us out there. Be sure to like us, hit the follow button, and turn on the notifications so you know when we go live. And then also check out our YouTube channel. Just look for Mind Gap there. We post all of our episodes there, as well as highlights from the shows and things like that. And don't forget to follow Justin online as well.
On Instagram and Twitter at Justin_Michael, spelled Mikel. It's the fun way of spelling it. And while you're in the online realm, check us out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, Samsung Podcast, Podbean, Verbal, Good Pod, I think is the one you like now. Yeah, all the places that you can find high quality podcasts that you consume them. You can find us as well. Subscribe, rate, review, share. The big one that we really want you to do is sharing us around. Just copy the link, send it out. And the other big one we want you to do, as Doug said at the top of the show, is subscribing. And the other big one we want you to do is reviewing. And the other big one is rating us. So please, just all the big ones. And then 2east8th.com/mindgap. And then keep an eye on all of 2 East 8th's social presences, is where you're going to find out about things like Sid Penrose and other fun stuff that we've got coming up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you all for hanging out with us. Twitch chat, you guys are amazing. You're just phenomenal. Thanks for keeping the conversation going. And thanks for, again, your understanding of us missing a week. It was it's unavoidable. Thank you for understanding. And Justin, I want to say from the bottom of my heart, thank you.
Doug, I want to say from the bottom of my heart, thank you.
And Twitch, thank you.
And listeners, thank you.
You all have a dandy fucking week.
Mind Gap Podcast.